Hello and welcome to Round 3 coverage from the 2025 Northwest Disc Golf Championship presented by Latitude 64. Our competition shifts over to Glendoveer for the weekend, and you are watching JomezPro with Nate Sexton, Paul Ulibarri, and Jeremy Koling.
We just got to see Matt Bell's dog, Levi Buckingham, who's always a pleasure, and Voodoo Donuts. Those are like three amazing things. Anyways, we are at a beautiful venue at Glendoveer East. It is a fantastic venue. The weather is nice. It's a little windy, but I think overall the scoring should be pretty low today.
Yeah, you looked up and down the leaderboard. Pretty close. I mean, it looks like Paul and Gannon have those 12 unders kind of working in their favor, but this place a little harder to get that low. So you're going to see scores from 3 to 4 under being okay, and then you can push into those double digits, but that's really tough. I mean, here's a great example. This is probably one of the easier holes on the course. Out of bounds everywhere, green, deep, right, kind of an island green, 670 in length, par 4,
Tough
high
putting.
rise.
Yeah, tough putting, I think.
I think it's an easier birdie, but it's still probably playing pretty tough.
It's the 7th most difficult. It's on the more difficult.
Welcome to the 2025 Northwest Disc Golf Championship presented by Latitude 64. This is our lead card. First up from Urbandale,
Dang, full 360.
Iowa. Currently our leader at 20 down.
Oh, 720.
Burr.
I just threw up.
Just kidding. Gannon's got his PD and his Cloudbreaker or DD3. Is that what the Summer Breeze is? Either way, a couple different options going to the tee.
Clout breaker.
Cloudbreaker. And he is elected to change to the forehand. I think both are great options on the hole, though. But if you can zap a forehand like that, that's the shot to throw.
I agree.
I mean, that is just blasted past the bunker. That's a cool 430, no problem.
From Huntington Beach, California. Currently at 18 down. Paul McBeth.
Talked to Paul yesterday and he said he's finally feeling healthy, and that's the difference. That's why he's been in the mix so much this year. The game is better when Paul McBeth's in it at the top.
Really heavy on the anhyzer. I'm really worried.
Yeah, the sand, he stays out of it.
Oh.
Goes over the green, and
about
he's
as-
safe anyway.
How lucky of a break is they're going to get.
Yeah, that could have gone a lot of places that weren't very good.
From Safety Harbor, Florida. Currently at 17 down. Calvin Heimburg.
Do you guys think that there's a better place for a spectator to be at a pro tour? I think it's got to be this.
I mean, the Hive is an awesome place out there in Des Moines, but this place is just far better. I mean, obviously the 8 holes in Massachusetts, that's incredible.
But in terms of like, if you were going to come watch your first pro tour and you want to see
This is
all
it.
your favorites,
No,
and then you got the fantastic like award-winning brewery on site, you got the vendor village, you got the restaurant.
This is it.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Arizona. Also 17 down. Ricky Wysocki.
I love the festival atmosphere that Jonathan Poole and his staff have created
Yes,
at the USDGC. That's unprecedented in itself. But when you mix in the view of Mount St. Helens and the Douglas Firs and just what this place has and just the Portland vibe in general, yeah, I think you're right. This takes the cake.
I also just think the course is spread out
Oh, no.
enough. Wow, this is big. Needs
Oh,
to
no.
get down before the line.
It's
Will
not
not
gonna
do it. The course is spread out enough. I just think the ease of movement is a lot better than most places for the spectators too. Like you can kind of, let's go over there. Let's go to hole 9. I can see that. I can see Paul McBeth now. I can see this guy now. Like you're just really wide open in the how you can move through the course.
Oh, Paul, way out of position. Just boosts a forehand at the circle's edge. That's a great second shot to get him a birdie look.
Ricky probably about 340
Is this
out,
screaming?
and this is great. I think that's circle's edge as well.
Okay.
And you're right. Another thing is the weather. The fact that it's just been pretty much perfect this whole week, Milo in here.
Yeah.
That's a spectator's dream, right?
Oh, that should sit.
Go to a course, raining all the time. Portland, 50-50 shot.
Yeah.
And they got the good side of it, the good side of the coin this year.
It was a little misty earlier in the day, but we're going to see sunshine by the end of the day. It has been really, really nice, and the temperature has been very pleasant. Ricky to save par, just inside 45 feet.
Little headwind, it looked like. I see his shirt moving a little.
There's a lot more wind up here on the green than it appears. Very gusty as you go up this hill. A very wide open area to the left side of the screen, and all that movement coming up that. You can see it right now in the background.
Like, I mean, I get it. There might have been a little puff of wind.
Yeah,
But that's not what made Ricky do that.
That was really short.
That was weird. Like, I've seen Ricky Wysocki putt in 20 mile an hour like it doesn't exist.
Yeah, that was just a misrelease. You're right.
Yeah, and high rise, he's on the bottom of that hill.
Sure.
Camera's not doing it justice. That's way up there.
Yes.
And if he misses,
He's out of bounds immediately.
yeah, you're looking at 7.
There's the out of bounds comes into play really quick in the backside of the basket. I understand the conservative effort, but I think you're right, Nate. That's just a total misrelease.
Over to hole 3, checking in with Anthony Barella, who's perfect so far on the day.
Just trimming the trees.
Yeah, that's a pretty good shot. Call that one 45, 50 feet.
I think he's going to be a little inside of that.
Okay.
Simon hits
Way
the
closer than that one.
Last Guardian.
Well, that's in.
Wow. Fantastic.
Jeez Louise. That had some length after it hit. If he wanted it.
Yeah, you're right, Paul. That's right at 40, just inside 40 maybe.
Yeah, that tree right there is a nice little indication of where
Sure.
the circle is. That middle is a nice indication of where the
Disc should be.
bird, yeah, the
Where
birdies
the
usually
basket's at.
hang out.
I think I said something yesterday when Brad made that big putt on hole 12 about how it's so nice to just make at least one of those a tournament. Simon's on like a 4 to 5 per tournament clip right now. He is just connecting with that 70 and past distance. It's been really fun to watch.
Hole 2, 390, out of bounds deep left. I think that's the worry right now. A little crosswind, bunker on the right. That's tough as well, but you can go the inside route. It's just really tough to get it to go right for some reason. And the turnover is also blocked off to where the height, you don't get that advantage. And so I really think this is a tough get.
Again, another hole that doesn't look like it's windy. This is really, there's gusts coming through that are right to left cross headwind. Worst possible wind for this hole.
This is bad, I believe. Yeah.
Ooh, into the sand.
Inside release from Gannon, trying to compensate for that crosswind and pulls it a little bit too tight on the inside.
Depending on where he went in as well, he might not even have a look. Oh, I guess you just take it from inside the bunkie. First time, guys. My bad. That's that. I know
man.
that's out of bounds.
Yeah, I was worried about that because I think you barely even want to see the disc get flat here. Calvin did way more than that. He had actual Anheuser, and then you're just going long at that point.
It wasn't that he threw a great shot,
interesting. Out and around for McBeth.
I think this one's cooked as well.
but like
Yeah.
Calvin was so close to hitting the cart path, which would have got him back in bounds with the skip, that it was kind of a bad break that he didn't. He only missed it by a few inches.
I like this one.
Yeah, this looks better. How close are you to out of bounds? Not very.
Not close at all.
Gotta be careful. You get behind that tree. The trees that guard these baskets are pretty dang wide. and the straddle can only do so much. Paul's not the tallest guy in the world.
That's the tallest guy in the world.
Yeah.
Or he will be when he stops growing, maybe.
I think
He
Nate
will be when he
Perkins said that
stands on Anthony Barella and
on top of Calvin.
and on top
for
of
sure.
Calvin.
That's a
Bang.
very old Jomez joke. I like that.
And there's a nice little switcheroo for Ricky.
Yeah, way to make the correction after, one of the worst putts we've seen from him in a while.
Perkins made the joke that he can literally see Gannon getting taller throughout the round. Just you can see him literally stretching out throughout the course of 18 holes. This is, even with McBeth on the card, one of the tallest cards on average per player that you're going to see with Gannon, Calvin, and Ricky. Swap McBeth out for Anthony Barella, as we just did there. And that might be the tallest card on Disc Golf Pro Tour history.
Looks really good to me as long as it's short. You never know with his arm speed.
Yeah,
that's
played.
pretty
That's
well
amazing.
played.
It put zero move on that thing, and it's all the distance you'd ever want.
I was wondering if he was going to go sidearm here or backhand. Looks pretty high.
Safe?
Yeah.
And it's a good spot of the green, too. You don't have to worry about the OB comeback putt.
He likes that middle.
What a start. 4 through 5. And hole 4 into the headwind is objectively, might be the toughest hole to birdie on the course. I don't even really find a par on hole 4 a miss at all right now in these conditions.
Somebody told me once there's only one place to find birdies on the course, and it's in the basket. I thought, wow, that's pretty profound and not at the same time.
Hole 3, par 3, 370. We're going uphill just slightly. A bunch of big trees. We saw a couple of guys play this one earlier in Simon and Anthony. Little baby flex backhand is probably the most common route. Ricky's going to show that one to us right here.
A little too overstable.
Just not getting quite wide enough with the S turn. Hey, we just saw this. It's not going to have the same.
Most overstable disc in the world.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Second. I think the play here is, as Paul hits the tree, is either go through that early gap or just go around all of them. And the going around all of them, I think, is the miss, like Calvin did.
Sure.
But it's like the educated miss, you know?
And there is an OB line up there, so you have to make sure it does have that finish, like you're saying. But if you can trust the fade.
You think Gannon's putting approaches with a mid-range, a flippy mid-range, or is that a putter? It goes so far.
I would think it's a putter, but I don't know. Oh, no.
Oh, boy. That is an uncharacteristic mistake for McBeth. Just careless, really.
He hit a branch again on the effort for par.
The only look for birdie on the card comes up short.
You think those little branches were in his way?
Whoa.
At least it was outside the bullseye. Never want to be that guy, you know? The missed bullseye putt. I'm trying to make a.
So let me
make this go
give
by
you guys
faster.
a little information about this one. I mean, that was just a blatant miss. However,
Okay.
a lot of open field on the left. You see these latitude flags ripping left to right. There's a
Oh,
bit of a
you're
tailwind.
Talking about the wind.
I am talking about the wind. He had the nose down on that putt, and nose down with a tailwind can lift. It was still a missed putt.
That's a beauty. Barella on 6, absolutely parked.
Yeah, I think those limbs were in the way a little bit. Plus that wild crosswind coming through there.
I'm
Look,
telling you.
I know.
I'm telling you.
I know.
Hole 4, par 3, 450. As Jerm said, bad wind direction on this one today. Everybody would, or not everybody, but most players would like to probably lay down a roller, but into a headwind with a little bit of cross push from the left, you really feel like your roller is going to get flipped too quickly, maybe bring the right side OB into play. It doesn't feel as possible to stretch out the distance. So I think playing tough today.
Going with the Anheuser, but getting a lot of distance. That's fine. God, I bet I'm gonna go on a limb here. I'm gonna say 4 birdies on this hole. The earlier guys, did they have the wind?
We're gonna talk about that in a second, but let's let these tee shots play out first.
Calvin.
Talk about whatever I want to talk about.
I'll give you more inside information in a second, Paul. Just be patient, you menace.
Okay, yeah. Yes, sir. Oh, don't cut.
Yeah.
That's the dreaded cut roll thrower.
Stay safe.
Just enough of an air shot to avoid the monstrous roll out of bounds.
McBeth gonna try the roller here.
Good width, good angle.
Yep.
Ooh, absolutely bamboozled.
Oof.
Squares the stake and goes out of bounds. That was,
It was
without
on-
a doubt, curling right.
It was going to be a fantastic shot, Nate.
That's crazy.
It was so unlucky.
Yeah, that sucks.
And with no one even close to being in birdie position, I'll go ahead and share 11 birdies on the day, and only one player in the top 20 as Paul rims off for the par save. Only one player in the top 20 to get the birdie. Just that says a lot about who was getting the birdies and when, much earlier in the day when there was less
Right.
headwind.
Yeah, the wind I played in, there wasn't birdies happening.
I saw one, but it took a really nice putt from one Joey Buckets.
To be fair, yeah, Joey Buckets, he was on your card?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so he dropped out of the top 20, but he was still on a later tee.
Yeah.
So there were a
and
few.
it was like a nice 45-footer after a really good drive. He did a lot of things right.
Good putt. That's not one you want.
And not that hole 4 is the barometer of good start, bad start, but this is kind of certified slow start for the card. It's very slow compared to the field.
Well, look at McBeth now. 3 bogeys in a row.
Pretty unbelievable.
Over to hole 7 with Barella.
Meanwhile, this guy is just
Meanwhile.
trying to throw the greatest shots I've ever seen.
That was really nice.
It went forward.
Got to edge the circle. Just outside, and that's another C2 make for Anthony. That's already 3, I believe, on the round. And we didn't even get to see 1 and 2. There could have been outside the circle putts on those holes as well. Everyone carding red so far just in the first 4 holes.
Hole 5, par 4, 910. Certainly one of the signature holes on this property. Best drives tend to be hyzer backhand out left, just short of all these bunkers. Sets you up with a good angle. 380 to 420 or so to the basket from over in that area. So you're going to have to throw 2 really quality shots to cover the 910 feet. A little bit of OB water, big OB green there as well. See if Gannon shows us that left side landing zone.
I find it to be one of the best holes on tour. Just for a wide open hole, I think that it delivers a lot of challenge. It averages nearly a half stroke over par. At 910 feet, even with the big downhill carry, it plays in the right range, I think, for 2 very well thrown shots.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I like the bunkers. I think they create a nice little regulator for the power guys, but I think the fans would have a lot more time if there was no bunkers. And you could just go as far as you'd like.
It is pretty incredible that basically no one tries to play like a turnover into those trees on the right.
Yeah.
Like even the biggest power throwers, everyone content to, bite off 450.
Right.
Or in Rick's case, like 400. I mean, that's pretty short right there.
I think that this hole's philosophy has changed for the players throughout the years. When we first came here, I think that we did see a lot of players try to get as much distance off the tee, and then over time, you realize the people who are scoring the best are just doing this play right here.
Yep.
But I do remember a ton of players going for that big, huge, crushing Anheuser shot and just taking the results. Good drive for McBeth. Calvin in the best spot. This is probably 450 to the pin.
Farther, I think.
Yeah, I kind of agree, and
I don't see
how this has enough height.
Well, it doesn't.
Maybe it does.
It does
just
not.
barely.
It
it
hit
does
the
not.
opposite side bank and stayed OB.
No cross.
No cross.
Yeah, that was probably 460, 480, 5 bills. Because in our practice round,
Ooh, this is cooked right.
And you're not seeing this, but Paul's shot as it crept over water just hit a mallard. It scared the ever-loving bejesus out of it. Not a Ducks fan, Paul McBeth.
I guess you can find birdies other places than the bucket.
Well played. Well played.
Oh, that rolls back. Paul McBeth is on a nightmare start. Birdie or no birdie.
Yes. I wasn't expecting that one, Paul. That was a good one. Calvin
Get
in
up,
danger.
man.
Oof. That's a much
These guys
better
are
place to
stressing
be.
me out.
Yeah, they are.
And it's just low vibes. I mean, the energy is low, and the wind's kind of bringing this chilly air it's not hyping them up right now. And the play is kind of contagious.
Has to make this to avoid a 4th straight bogey.
Great effort.
Really was.
Ricky and Paul both. Awful starts.
Yeah, it's going to be even par now for Ricky. Calvin also sitting at even par. Good height that time, just a little bit off to the right side. Gannon has a really scary putt here. Basically, he's putting down, and there's this little tailwind, slight right to left cross. Anything that chains out right or left side, I don't care how much heavy chains you hit, I think it still finds its way downhill OB.
Yeah. I think he made the correct mistake there. Aimed it at the tray, right to left crosswind. Sometimes lifts them, you know?
I agree. A well-educated miss is one of the best tools a disc golfer has. Meanwhile,
just taking full advantage of the struggles on our lead card. Look at all the green on Barilla's scorecard. Look at the 1 next to his name.
he started on 3rd card, and we're not even done with the front 9, and he's got the lead, folks.
Adding on to it. Making some putts, man.
This is something really special turning out to be a very, very, very special day for Anthony right now. Looking super comfortable.
It's a lot of red.
So much red.
When was the last time you saw 4 consecutive bogeys for Paul McBeth?
Never. Probably. I think we had that happen once by somebody, and then we said the same thing. 4 in a row, that's unheard of.
Yeah.
Strange. Just played so well this week and hasn't been the tee shots for him. It's just, he's been round 1. He just wasn't close enough to the pin to make all the C2 putts. Yesterday, he was close enough, made all his putts. It's just, he can't get off the tee today.
All right, little flex shot here.
Ooh, just by the mandatory tree.
Oh,
Did that hit a stake?
yep.
The stakes are high today. It's moving day.
Looks like he took a chunk out of it. At least it's in bounds.
Yeah, at least it took a little, gave it a little something to remember him by.
Close your eyes.
No.
Steak?
Close your eyes.
Okay, no steak.
Wow, that's a brutal kick.
This is just shaping out to be like an all-time round. You look at the card and you're like, well, this is about as good as it could possibly get.
Great shot.
Yeah, that was fantastic from Rick.
But just the results have not netted what we expected coming into this moving day.
Paul going with more of a straight disc, it looks like. Not a ton of anhyzer on it, but that'll get up there for a look. After seeing those other guys, I'm sure you'll take it.
Calvin now 1 over. Gannon from about 75. Great effort.
Kind of needs it in a worse way. Really.
Totally.
That's not it. Okay, Ricky. Yeah, what a bizarre feeling on the card. You're like 1 over par and kind of right in it still.
I can't help but think back to a few weeks ago, Champions Cup. And for what McBeth, it just must be infuriating inconsistency. Coming off of 1080s.
The 14 under starting round.
Yesterday,
Uh-huh.
And just being everything clicking. I played with Paul McBeth yesterday. It wasn't hard for him to do what he did. He just kind of was throwing the disc around, making his shots. We were chatting. It was like very relaxed. And I think this is just going to slap you right in the face, getting up today and being 4 over through 6.
Come over here, like this way. So you're gonna line up straight to the gap also. We'll try again.
Hole 7, par 4, 710 up the hill. Mandatory left on that right tree. Just plays far to get up the hill. I mean, 450 power will get you here. Maybe in here. We saw AB kind of way up there. And then they tuck this farther back a little bit. So even a hyzer around, there's some guardian trees. This is a really tough get. Out of bounds on the right-hand side and left. I think the distance is the real punisher here. And this tight gap up the hill. And you don't get a run up.
Eesh. This hole's really, really long right now. Tough for Ricky to work with the crowd when the crowd's kind of dead. It's not their fault either.
Great tee shot. There's some cheers. There we go.
They want to cheer. They're ready to do it.
This looks like a aggressive run up here. Had some speed for sure.
That's a good shot.
Yeah, that's nice.
I think just past Gannon's. That's great. It is paramount to get all the way to the top. It's not flat there, but it is considerably flatter than...
You can at least make progress, right, with your next shot.
If you're doing the run-up that Ricky's doing, it's so hard to get any momentum into your shot.
And even the angle he has to throw, the nose angle he has to throw to not hit the ground is going to prohibit him from carrying distance.
Correct.
So it's just not possible for him to throw it to the pin unless he went with an insane roller. Even if you were 100 feet farther than Rick, it's still not possible to throw it to the pin probably because the nose angle is just going to send you all the way up, as soon as you crest it.
Good weight behind this one for Gannon.
That's really good.
It's going to be a very awkward putt remaining. The way those trees are positioned, there's not really a good line to the pin.
Stupid pine cone. Get out of here.
I would not want to be a pine cone to McBeth's run-up when he's got 4 bogeys and 0 birdies. Just saying.
Ooh, might be getting one. That's pretty deep.
Not his best effort. I like the idea of going on the inside route. Not executed to his level.
I want to be here. Probably just about a 360 hyzer, I'm guessing. Yeah, really good.
Nice.
Still plenty of work to do here for Rick.
Not going to be a gimme. creeping.
I just don't think many people in the world can make that putt. The width at which you need a straddle doesn't allow you to get much forward, and you're still kind of putting across your body. But with Gannon's width, with the way he's able to turn his knees into that shot, it gets him to a place where he's still able to activate his hips into the putt.
Nobody can turn their knees like that.
It really, that was a very tough spot to be. And now Calvin's just as far, if not farther, than where he just putted from, coming back for the par.
Good comebacker.
Now Ricky for the save. That's clutch. One birdie, 3 pars. The low vibes continue.
Barella with the low forehand, absolutely crushed.
You just don't see drives that long unless they're backhand. That is just mashed.
You don't really even see it then.
It's not a tap-in, but it's pretty much a tap-in.
The way he's been making those other ones, finding the stripe is not going to be difficult, I don't think. Yeah.
8 down through 9. I mean, and just aside, I mean, if he had birdied hole 4, could you imagine in the conditions?
Working it out to the left side on the tee shot of 10. It's not a spot you see too many people go, but sure is open over here.
It's probably 275, 280 to the pin from here.
A lot of control. Let's just stay with this guy.
Please? That's just an H for anyone playing horse in that situation. That is, those Douglas firs are so wide.
Look at this 9 under. You look down the board and there's nothing competing with that.
Well,
Nothing.
It's like the hot round turned in for the day is like 8 under. And he's 10 holes in and he's already better than that.
Hole 8, 500-foot par 3 downhill. Probably one of the toughest drives on the course if you're looking for a birdie. Pretty thin line. I think the force over backhand for a righty is probably your best bet. Over stable disc, force it right out towards the OB line, count on it to swing back and skip. Somebody who loves throwing that shot is Gannon Buhr, though he goes lower than I would have expected.
Oh, is this his play?
Sure looks like it. And the tree.
Yeah, take the branches out of play.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
great. Haven't seen many people achieve that, but that was really good.
Controlling a nose angle with that amount of spin it's a rare level of high excellency.
No.
Excellency that's
I like high excellency. It gives me sort of, Sultan,
that's
Aladdin vibes a little bit.
Yeah. I was thinking like medieval,
Definitely.
kind of knighty.
patience, Iago. Patience.
Oh, this is, wow.
A good break, I
Probably a good break because that looked, who knows if it was his most overstable disc, maybe, but looked like it was ripped right to me.
I like this. I like this a lot.
Man, he's got some power, doesn't he?
It's kind of like the combination of what you expect to see and what Gannon did. Where it's the low line turned over. Nothing really can stop that shot from working out.
Solid shot from Paul. This looks like it could get away from him a little bit. Yeah.
It's just good enough, but it's not as good as you'd like it to be.
Yeah, a long ways to putt.
Calvin could really use this. He's had so many looks at birdie and hasn't connected it.
Yeah, he could use it, and
Super
McBeth would
bonus
buy
birdie.
it for probably like $1,000 right now.
Yeah.
That'd be the quickest $1,000 Paul would ever spend in his life.
Good putt.
Yeah, I think thinking about Paul and how rare 4 bogeys in a row is, and I think that can be said for any of our top players. But we're talking about the chance of a birdie-less 9 holes. And when you think about the career he's had, you know, I would expect that his average score on a competitive round of disc golf at the elite level is probably like 8 or 9 under in his life. So then you think about how statistically improbable it is to go 9 holes without even a birdie. Not that he's done it yet. He has one more chance. But I doubt we've seen that before.
Like full on 8 shots off his average per 9. 8 or 9 shots off
Something
his
like
average.
that, right? Because I mean, I have no data to support that claim of his average. I just think of all the golf he's played back in the national tours, in the pro tours, in the majors, like the guy is shooting 8 or 9 on just an okay day. Generally,
Yeah, all the time.
He's got more 18 unders than he's got evens. You'd imagine. Doesn't come in even very often, but he's going to have to do some work just to get back to even today.
Gannon Buhr, 2 in a row, though. That's heading in the right direction. He had a few to spare. They're gone now.
He's 2 holes behind Anthony Barella and 2 shots behind him. So,
They're gone.
yeah, they're gone, and now he's playing catch-up. You imagine maybe saying something like that for someone who's playing well somewhere on the chase card, but for someone to be doing this on 3rd card says a lot about A, what's going on with the lead card, and B, what's going on with Anthony Barella's insane round.
Just want to get it and hit that dark spot, get past these 2 Guardians right there on the right and the left.
McBeth made it a little tougher on himself here, but this shot is possible. Got to scream one in here. It doesn't look like he likes it.
Not much to like.
Oh, out of bounds.
Not much to like.
So this is going to be another bogey at best.
At best.
It has to be the worst 9 holes we've ever seen.
It very well could be.
From Paul.
This shot right here, guys, by the way. Wow.
Oh, squares the last tree.
Just to hit the gap, the shot shaping that he had to do from that stance, that late turnover up the hill trying to get 350 in power. Very impressive. A little unlucky on the tail end of the flight, but just to get a look out of there was very well done.
Ricky hits the Guardian. He's going to be left with another 90-footer. Calvin. Looking to go hyzer. Got to get around those. No.
With that drive, just feels like it's a wasted shot there with the approach. Still has a big putt he can make to salvage the birdie.
Well, scares it. That's going to be another bogey, though. That's 5 over par.
It looks like every time he's gone out of bounds, his next shot, full send trying to make from the fairway.
Oh, so close.
Again. I gotta say, seeing how big the crowd is here with this lead card through the trials and tribulations that they've gone through so far, it's a lot of dedication by this crowd. Considering if they just looked at their phones for 1 second, they'd see that Anthony Barela is 2 holes ahead of them, dropping 10 birdies in the first 11 holes. Like, they really want to see this star-studded card come through and start putting together some good golf.
Yeah, sheesh. Oh.
And this guy's out there too.
Yeah, that's it. The big carry with the roller. 500 feet taken care of on a 710-foot hole.
What are you left with?
190, I think it said.
Ew. That's incredible. Well, that's a good start. For you, bogey free?
Yeah, absolutely.
And
4
you're
under
right
through
there.
10. I mean,
Yeah.
this is that kind of course. I mean, obviously, you're seeing how bad everybody's playing on the lead card. You have Gannon at 2 under. But that's this kind of course. It can jump up and bite you to where if you just stay away from the bogeys, don't get trapped into the greediness of the hero shot. All these guys would take that, to be like, oh, well, oh no, I'm just 2 under. But it feels like in this day and age that you got to push. And typically you do because you have an Anthony Barela out there. But sometimes 2, 3, 4 under is okay.
For sure. And I got to give a shout out to Corey Ellis, who's currently 2 under through 10, but started off double bogey. And in the 8 holes between there, 5 birdie picked up, getting his round turned around in the right way.
Yeah, fighting. That's what
Fighting
you have to
real
do
hard.
for sure. Paul's going to need to show some serious fight on this back 9 to be any kind of factor going forward in the tournament. I mean, the win is quickly becoming impossible, I would say, but I would expect a serious bounce back.
Do you have any advice for Paul or for anyone else?
You know what? Like, check the HVAC filter of your house, because I always forget to change them out. They're cheap for one, and they're easy to switch out. And you might feel better if you just switch that thing out. It's supposed to be every 6 months. So just grab that. It's probably,
Every 6 months?
yeah, yours is probably nasty.
Every 6 months.
Yeah, pull that out of there. It's cheap. You might be breathing easier, my friend.
Like and subscribe.